cosas, cause they don't have it. They call me Orona, la gorda, selfish, but sorta, cause I'm staying out the drama, kicking back with la corona.
Hola, hola. Hey guys, welcome back to Qué Más. We're super excited to be here. This is our second episode. This is also the second time we record this episode. We really wanted to make sure that our second episode has better quality. We're all learning. It's my first time having a podcast, and I'm just excited to be here, get this second episode done. We're excited for the future. So here we go. Today, I really want to talk about artist presence online. Just a couple of tips for artists. We want to talk about like social media presence and websites as well. So let's just get into it. One of my biggest tips that I love to give artists for our Instagram page is to have your favorite art pieces that you've done pinned up, or your particular style of work and what you specialize in pinned up on your Instagram page. So as soon as they get into your page, they'll see all of your pins that are, maybe one could be, because I think you can only pin two pictures or videos up on Instagram. So one could be something that you specialize in, maybe a time lapse of you creating that piece. And then the second one, if you've ever been in any kind of like media presence, so like TV, if you've ever done a live interview on TV, if you've ever been on a podcast, or if there's ever been an article written about you, those are great things that you can have pinned up on your Instagram. So that's whether it be like visual artist, or if you are a musician, that would be a great thing to have some media presence on there for your like Instagram page. But I also believe that you can't just rely on social media, that you should also have a professional um, page, so a professional website that is off of social media. So this will be more of a portfolio professional website where people can log in. Please try to get a domain that has your name on it, or similar, or your brand name, whatever your brand name is, or whatever your band name is. And on there, as soon as they log into your web page, when they open it, the first thing they see is an image. Again, something you would pin up on your social media would be really good to be like on the front of the first page on your website. Having a professional website is so important, especially when you are applying for grants or applying to be a group exhibit, or if you are trying to get a gig. You need something else to send people to look at your past work for jobs, for gigs. And so professional websites, not everybody's going to have social media, by the way. Like, and I know that it's a lot more popular now, but maybe the person that's going to give you the job does not have social media. So what do? Professional websites, it's where it's at. There's so many free places where you can get a website for free domain, free presence. It doesn't matter. And the person that's going to hire you is not going to know the difference. They're going to just go in there and see what it is that you're all about, right? Get more information about you. So getting a professional website is super important. It doesn't have to be super like elaborate or so super like fancy and classy looking, as long as it has your information on it. Videos of you creating the work or performing, pictures, professional pictures of your artwork, or professional pictures of you performing is also very important. And whenever you get a gig, if you see a photographer, be like, hey man, can I give you my information and you can send me those pictures from my website? And just make sure you give them credit for the pictures. They're going to love that. And of course, most of the time, they're going to be totally cool about it and say, yes, of course. And use those same pictures that are going to be on your professional website on your social media as well. So if they do go and find you, so let's say they only have the link to your professional website and then they go on social media to try to find you, they'll know that it's for sure you if you have the same presence on your professional website than you do on social media. So that is two good tips. Having stuff pinned up on your Instagram page, Instagram's pretty good for visual artists, especially. So having two things pinned up on your page and also having a professional website to share for people outside of social media. So that is my tip for online presence. The only other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about are contracts, artist contracts. So you can provide an artist contract to get hired for any gig, right? If the person that's hiring you does not have their own contract, or if you have specific boundaries that you'd like to make sure that everybody agrees to, is when you come up with your own contract. It's always good to talk to a lawyer to give you that um, kind of like template for you to use. But, and this is not lawyer advice because I'm not a lawyer, this is not professional advice for anything legal. But you can use ChatGPT to look for the verbiage of what it is that you are trying to get a contract with. Like, for example, you would like to get prepaid for your work. You don't want to wait for a paycheck after you perform or after you've, anything for a gig that you get hired for. So maybe on your contract could say, I need to get paid in advance. This is how you can pay me, and you can use that as an agreement online where you can use like, what is it, DocuSign, or just on a Word process agreement, and use ChatGPT. Hey, this is what I want my boundaries to be. Can you help me write this out for this client? And it'll be professional and clean. So that does make it a legally binding contract if both parties sign it and date it. So you have to make sure you are addressing the person on the contract and then making sure that they sign it at the bottom and date as well. So that would be a legally binding document. If anything happens, you can go to small claims court and they will use that evidence as a contract agreement that maybe they didn't do their part or you didn't do their part, whichever. So there is a nonprofit organization in Kansas City called KCVLAA. VLAA are Volunteer Lawyers and Accounting for Artists. And this is free for any artist, whether it be performing or visual arts. I would love to get them into an episode with me so they can talk about their services and how they help local artists out. And of course, they could go into more details about contracting and about how to go about protecting the things that you create. So, copyright and licensing and all of that. I'd love to get them in. I mean, I can talk about what I know, but I would rather a lawyer talk about what they do professionally so that they can like offer their services. And since this is a nonprofit, I don't think that they charge for their services. I'd love to know more about that. Hopefully, in the future, they can come into an episode with us and you'd have more information coming straight from the source. So I'm hoping that that works out. But that's just another tip for contracts is you can use AI to find the right verbiage to put together your boundaries of what you are okay with and what you're not okay with. So now that we've gotten the two tips out of the way, I really want to do a story time with you guys. Okay, so today's story is about artists scheduling to come into the gallery to show me their work so they can possibly exhibit in future events here at our gallery at Monarca Art Space. And there was one time that I scheduled an artist to come in at a certain time to show me their artwork, to see what the style is. I really like to collect a list of artists and what they do, the kind of style of work that they do. So if we have an open slot for a group showing, that I can go back and look at my list and see the kind of art that the kind of art that I have on the list to see if it goes with the show that I'm putting together. Like, coordinating everything together so it kind of goes, it flows right. And I had this artist come in. Number one, they were late. They were late coming in, and I was just kind of like waiting around. I'm like, okay, I'm going to give them 20 more minutes. Okay. or something like, or 10 more minutes. They're already 20 minutes late. And so if you hear any background noise, that's because we are an open gallery. We're open Thursday through Sunday, 12 to 6 p.m. So if you hear the door and other people, that just means that's good. That's a good sign for us. That means people are coming into the gallery, which is great. So back to story time. Um, so they showed up late. They showed up about 25 minutes late. And then they're like, "Hi, I'm the artist. Oh, thank you for coming. So sorry I'm late." "Oh, no, no worries. It's okay." I'm like, "So where's your work? I can't wait to see your work." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, I didn't bring it." And then I'm like, "You didn't bring your artwork to an art interview about your work?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, but I have social media." And so they pull out their social media to show me their artwork. I'm like, a little bit frustrated because at this point you could have just sent me a link to your Instagram for me to check out your artwork. And I think the reasons why I like to see things in person is because you get a better feel. What if you had bad photography on your Instagram page and like I turn you down, but in real life, like looking at your paintings in real life, could be completely different, and then the pictures just is a disservice for the actual original piece. So it was really important. And I also offered, I'm like, how are you gonna, like, how am I gonna see your work? I'm like, I'd love to see your stuff in person. One thing is, if your art is too big, please get it photographed professionally so that you can put that onto your online portfolio or even your social media. If you have professional pictures, that you'd have a better outlook on what your work and the style of work that you do, and try to make sure that even the color matches from the original artwork to the photography. Sometimes when you use your phone, you're like this and you're like taking a picture and the light is not very good, it's going to be a huge disservice to your artwork. And so I think of this story, I always double check with the artists now that are coming in to do to interview for their artwork, bringing the artwork. I always ask, um, is there? Can you please bring your original artwork with you? If not, can you get it photographed so I have a really good picture to look at your work? If you're coming in, it's not just interviewing you, right? Because you're not the one like going to be in the walls. Like, I want to see your artwork and look at your artwork that are going to be on the wall. So that was super important. That was a learning curve for them, I'm sure. I'm sure they were not prepared for something like this. And it was a learning curve for me because now I know to double check to see if they are going to bring their artwork with them. But that goes for the boutique too. That's happened to me for the boutique. And they're interested in selling their art or earrings or candles or whatever it is to the boutique. We schedule an interview for them to bring the items down to see if it even goes. But also, I rent out the spaces on the boutique. So if you already bring your items with the furniture, I call it, the fixtures that you're going to be using to put your items in, depending on how much space you need is how much I'm going to rent out for you. So I've had people not bring in anything, and they'll just show me pictures, and so it's been a struggle, but a learning curve for me because now I'm more descriptive when I do reply to messages. I'm going to ask for sure from then on, from when it happened on, bring actual physical proofs of your whatever it is that your product that you're selling, but also bring your fixtures that you have. And if you don't have any, we have some for you that you could use and borrow to use in a certain space, right? But I don't have everything for everyone, so I prefer for the vendor to bring their own fixtures for their items. So that was just my little story time for this episode. Readiness is everything. Being prepared for interviews is very important. And now I know how to better communicate with an artist if I know that I'm going to need a certain something from them, and make sure to communicate that to them so that they are also ready for the interview or if it's for the boutique, for whatever. So I guess that's also a tip for you guys as well, is just to be over ask questions. If you're going to go out there to interview for an opportunity, just over ask, like, what else can I bring with me to this interview? How else can I be prepared for this? And so, yeah, I feel so much better sharing that now. So story time has been great. Okay, so for our last thing in our episode today is I want to give a shout out to our partners here at Monarca Art Space. We have awesome partnerships, and I'm very proud to say that they're all women-owned businesses that we're partnered up with, which is amazing. Our first partner is Café Corazon. I'm sure you guys, if you are local in Kansas City, you have heard about Café Corazon. And if you're not familiar, I suggest that you should Google Café Corazon. It's one of the best coffees in Kansas City, woman-owned business, and we buy our coffee from them. Here at Monarca Art Space, we have a little bar area. We call it Más Café, and this is a place where you can purchase the coffee from Café Corazon. Here at our gallery, the coffee is delicious, and 100% of the profits go to our free art classes for youth that we have here every Sunday, 12 to 3. And I teach kids 10 to 16 years old. So, Café Corazon, shout out to you guys. Thank you for continuing this awesome partnership with us. And then also, we sell tea at the same coffee bar, and we get our tea from Harvest Moon Botanica. Harvest Moon Botanica, shout out to Teresa. Teresa also runs a studio here at Monarca Art Space, and she's amazing. So she's a great partner to have as well. And we sell hibiscus tea, Earl Grey, we have chai, we have a blended tea with rose petals, which is delicious. So I want to give out a shout out to our two partnerships today, Harvest Moon Botanica and Café Corazon. Okay, guys, so I want to thank you guys for tuning in to our second episode. We're super excited to keep going. We have lots of plans coming up. Remember, this podcast is about artists, about art, and the journey of entrepreneurship. Failures, we can talk about better way to do things, maybe. There's a lot of things that I've gone through in my process of being an entrepreneur here in Kansas City. I want to share more stories with our story times of things, of times where I fail or times that I've learned to do things better. And then the next time, have better success. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like this episode. You share it with your friends that are interested in learning about these kinds of things. And thanks for tuning in. Can't wait to see you next time. Mwah.